Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining in on this meeting. We're recording this so that people that haven't been able to make it can watch. So my name is Liz Whitewolf, and I'm on the executive board for Fab Learning Academy. I'd like to introduce my fellow executive board members, and then we'll introduce our educational hub team members. So Yvonne, how about you?
Hello. So I'm Ivan Sanchez. I'm working in Fab Lab Oulu in Finland.
And then Xavi.
Hey, I'm Xavi. I'm part of the FLA team and also working here in Fab Lab Barcelona since 8 years ago, especially in K-12. So welcome everybody. And Santi.
Hi everybody, nice to see all of you here. Yeah, my name is Santi. I'm also part of the course and the program, and also working in Fab Lab Barcelona. So happy to see all of you here.
How about Stephen?
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen. I'm from Fab Lab Singapore Polytechnic, also staff with the Singapore Polytechnic. We work with the local Singapore K-12 schools, and for SP itself, we're actually a college level. Yeah, been doing this for a few decades already. Bye.
And how about Maxime?
Hi everyone, I'm Maxime. I'm from Fab Lab Armenia in Dilijan. Happy to see you.
Great. And well, I'm going to get started with our presentation, and we can answer questions at the end or even really in the midst of the presentation. There's really not that we don't have that big of a group, so I don't think we are worrying so much about schedule. So I'm going to share my screen. And then here we go. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Great. Okay, well, Fab Learning Academy. We're very excited to have you here. You hopefully have read some of the links or know a little bit about where we start or what we're up to in Fab Learning. So Fab Learning Academy is really about using the tools of technology or the Fab Lab tools to teach subjects in school or in out of school time. It's about using these tools for learning with students or teaching through digital fabrication. What we noticed when we started working on Fab Learning Academy, which was honestly quite a few years back, is we noticed that as we're working in schools and working with teachers and helping get these tools into the hands of teachers, that sometimes the teachers need a little bit more support, a lot more support than what they were getting at school. So as these tools are getting, as schools are importing or creating Fab Labs and makerspaces, it just seems like the support for those spaces to be used to support their student learning really needs some work. So that's where we came up with the idea for our Fab Learning Academy. And what the Fab Learning Academy does is we distribute the knowledge among 3 domains: technology, the science of learning, and innovative practices. And these are our 3 domains that we find are really, really important in using these kinds of technology with students. So here's some of the things that we break down. The technology is literally the technology that you'll use in the classroom or that you have access to for your particular classroom. The technology portion of our Fab Learning Academy is really the local part. So wherever you are located, wherever your lab is located, that's the technology that we're centering. So that's the technology part of our domains is really the localized part of our distributed education program. And then we take things like science of learning, and science of learning is about pedagogies and learning theories, and that really support this type of these types of tools and technologies. And then innovative practices, which is where you think about the science of learning and the tools combining together to make where the rubber hits the road. Like, what do we actually do with these tools in the classroom? How do these technologies interact with what we're doing day in, day out, whether you're informal or informal learning? So the methodology behind our design is fairly based on Fab Academy, but if you don't have an understanding of how Fab Academy works as a distributed education platform, then this is what we have. So what we do is we meet weekly synchronously with the global contingent of students. And again, that's where we talk about those pedagogies and those innovative practices. In addition, weekly they'll meet with the hubs. Everybody will meet, with their nodes. So everyone will report locally and learn the technologies. And then our curriculum is divided up into chunks. And each of these chunks is a module, and each module is capped by a field activity. And this field activity is a little bit longer of a project for a teacher to work on. So it will include designing and building in the shop, designing a lesson plan and testing that lesson plan, and then reflecting on it. So those field activities are really going to be kind of the meat of what they're learning and sharing in the program. Those activities will be assessed. The tasks will be assessed by local instructors in the local labs, the nodes, and then the interventions or the field activities will be assessed by the global team. And then this process is certified by our Fab Learning Academy graduation diploma. But additionally, each of the modules will be kind of credentialed separately, so that they'll earn a badge or a certification for each module, and then at the end the whole one. And here's kind of how the modules work. This shows module 1 broken down week by week. So this will be a typical module. We'll go through a standard topic the first week, the second week, the third week. The third week we'll start to turn the focus more to their field activity, and then they'll have a couple weeks to do that field activity with their students, post it on Scopes, post their reflection, and then we'll assess them again. And then we'll do it again for the next module. This just puts a little bit more thought around who's supporting our students and in what. So again, each week we'll have a live lecture topic, and local support, asynchronous support is supported by the executive team and the educational hubs as well. Here's the one with the date. So our first full cohort will start September 23rd. We'll end in March. So if you notice here, we've got module 1, module 2, then we have a little break here between module 2 and module 3, between November 25th and January 12th. So what we're trying to do is give people a little bit of time in the midst of their year. And then the last 2 modules will be modules 3 and modules 4. And actually, if you see these are color coded on the bottom, all the yellow dots right here. Those are the typical weeks where we're doing asynchronous, or we're doing synchronous lectures, and they're doing asynchronous work in their labs. And then the red dot is the week that they're working on their field attack activity. So you'll see in module 1, they get kind of 1 week to do their field activity. But in module 2, they'll get 2 weeks because their field activity has a little bit more to it. And then module 3, they'll have 2 weeks as well. And then in module 4, they'll have a little bit longer to work on that field activity. Here's the team that we have working on the curriculum. These are our educational hub leaders. A lot of them are here on the phone call today. Thanks for being here, guys. But you'll hear, if you do join into the Fab Learning Academy, you'll hear from all of us at many points during this time. What we have going on right now is we're in the process of adding more local nodes. Again, the local nodes are where the students come, the participants come and learn the technology in the lab. And here's our list, our somewhat current list of nodes that we have. We have a few more that haven't been put on this slide yet. But and then over on the right, you'll see kind of the breakdown of what's actually happening. This is a screenshot from our brochure. So I linked you all a brochure in this reminder email. You'll have that. You have the link to this whole thing, so you can look at this a little bit closer. But this answers some questions for you. The fees over here where it says tuition fees, we have a global. This is separated into global fees and then local lab fees. So what we expect is that as a local learning node, you'll have some costs that you'll need to pay for your instructor, maybe equipment, that kind of thing. And then this global fee here is the fee that covers the curriculum, the instructors, kind of all of the work that we've put into coming up to the course, and then the delivery of the course. So as each participant participates, their total will be kind of those two fees combined. And there's a little bit of flexibility in what the local labs charge, and we'll talk about that on kind of on a one-to-one basis as you learn more about how you'll want to participate. And then another thing to think about is down here at the bottom, this is dedication time. The participants are expected to spend between 4 and 8 hours a week, synchronously and asynchronously. So it's a pretty big chunk of their time. We ran this as a pilot in 2023, which was a lot of fun. We piloted one learning module. We had 22 participants, and here we all, a lot of us are virtually. Over 40 lessons were created during this pilot. Some of them we did post on Scopes, and as we move forward in our next cohort, we will be posting our final lesson plans on Scopes. We also learned, we also prepared, here are some resources that we use as well. We've got our FLA Academy page, which is where we posted our curriculum. In fact, I think our curriculum is still up there for our first run. And then our Discord page, which is where we really encourage participants to communicate asynchronously about what they're learning. Here's a picture of when we graduated some students in Bhutan, which was exciting because 2 students actually came to Bhutan to graduate in person, which is very cool. But we did graduate quite a few participants virtually, even if they couldn't be there in person. And then here are some of the lesson plans that they worked on during this time. This first module that we tested, the participants were asked to create a model for learning for their students. So using the tools and technologies to develop something to use in the classroom. And so they each came up with a model of learning, and then they practiced using that in their classroom. So you can see that there are quite a few different projects. Oh, and then one of the fun weeks of Fab Learning Academy is actually learning to make your own biomaterials. Fair warning. Okay, so the second edition, or what we're calling our cohort 0, is starting in September. And like I said, right now we're in the process of onboarding nodes to join our local learning nodes. And that's why you all are here. Oops, stop share is what I have to do. Okay. Questions. Now it's time for questions. Unless, like, does anybody from the board or from our educational hubs want to add something?
I will say that there's an error in the in the tuition fee or in the cost, at least in the slide that we share. From 3,500, I just changed it, please. So maybe you can share again. The global fees are 1,600, and the local learning node fees are 1,900. Obviously, this is happen as other academic or distributed academic programs in the Fab Lab ecosystem. That this is just an estimated cost. So each of the nodes will have to, let's say, do the maths in a way to see if they cover the cost of the people assessing, let's say, or guiding, let's say, the teachers, and access to the tools, things like that. But more or less to have an estimated more.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm interested how a normal week would look like. So when are the global sessions? When did you do the in-house or the local sessions? And so how's the experience? Because I think as I hear, at least as in the Netherlands, most teachers work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Organize it.
If we follow, let's say, the same structure that we follow in the pilot, let's say, so the classes were on Monday. I think so. We agree to find a common, let's say, common time that was more or less well for everybody. And if I'm not wrong, it was at 3.
Right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, 2.
I want to say that the lectures, they don't need to be followed in the class, in the labs. So we understand teachers, they have, let's say, I mean, it's difficult for them to find moments to come to the lab. But then each lab in that time, they were finding another moment on the week to meet, let's say, the students and to work. In our case, it was on Friday afternoons, for example. It was we agree with the teachers to participate. So there's just one moment in the week that is for an hour and a half where basically we meet all of us virtually. And some of our students, they were following from, let's say, the schools. So in the lunchtime, for example, they were finding time. Some other ones in another places. And this structure, it repeats every week. Let's say there's some recitations, things like that, but they are in the same moment.
And the global classes are recorded as well for those who can't make it, can watch the recording as well. But a part of our methodology is doing student discussions in those classes. So it is pretty beneficial to be there in person because you can join the discussions with other educators.
Yeah. So I would say Mondays at that time is the only way that it will be kind of mandatory to connect in a way. The rest can be, let's say, adjusted depending of the zone.
Hey, and another question is, so what were the participants? Were they primary, secondary teachers? So because it also differs in the over the countries now, how the educational system is.
Yeah, we had participating teachers from all levels. We had our youngest was, I think, K, like kindergarten teachers, and yeah, in Ulu. And then we even had some professors, some higher ed professor teachers that teach teachers. So we had a really wide range of participants, and all of their lessons were focused on whatever range that they were teaching. So you notice that, you know, a couple of those lessons were for pretty young ages, like that questions wheel was, you know, all about reading. So really what, even having the wide range of ages, they were still able to come up with a project. And it was interesting to see the differences.
Yeah, I mean, one common question that normally people does is if they need to be active teachers or teachers that are, let's say, in the schools. The idea is that the educators, they put in practice, let's say, what let's say they are learning together with, let's say, students, but it could be in an after school, let's say, situation. It doesn't have to be, let's say, in the school. Of course, if it's in the school, it's much, as far as I understand, much more easy, but we know that sometimes this is difficult. Actually, in our note, in the first edition, we had one teacher that was more close to the policy making, let's say, aspect. So it was working with the Generalitats, with the how it calls?
Educational department.
Educational department.
The regional government, yeah.
Yeah. So they were implementing, let's say, different makerspaces in the school. So for them, it was convenient to join the course, the program, and to learn a little bit. So she was not in specific school. So she was basically in contact with different schools. So she basically was, let's say, putting in practice in different ones. And this could be a possibility. Also, we always encourage to also invite not just teachers, also people from from, let's say, the learning communities that are in a position that then they can help things happen, I don't know, directors or other ones.
I was also thinking about, so here in Amsterdam, so we have a lot of makerspaces in public libraries. I think they might also be
Yeah.
interested.
They are educators as well. They're the coaches in the
Coaches,
makerspaces. Yeah.
Definitely can be an option. Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the program, I think so, it goes in two directions. No, people that they are already in the labs, but they are too much or a lot in contact with education, but they don't have, let's say, the background in education, and they want to know, let's say, how build, let's say, activities that connects, let's say, with the curriculum or the learning objective, and or teachers, educators that are, let's say, in the educational system, but they want to, let's say, start implementing, let's say, maker practices in a way, in a meaningful way for them. So it could be a kind of like program bridge that helps to connect both.
I'm going to stop the recording.
I have one more question because
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm curious, how did you reach participants last time? Because it's almost May now. It's kind of late to get teachers on board for September. Do you have any interesting outcomes from the last time?
To reach students?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in, let's say, Spain time, in a way, it's not so bad. It's true, we are a little bit late, but it's we are working close with certain educational communities, and we always, let's say, keep in touch with them and explaining, let's say, that we will start this program, so they already know. But now is the period of time for the schools that they plan next year. So it's a quite not bad time to plan with them in a way. So what they will do. And this is from Spain point of view. I mean, I don't know the rest of the countries.
In the US, teachers work over the summer. Officially, they're all on break, but it's easy enough to get a teacher to respond over the summer to commit to something like this. Sadly, a lot of their training they do over the summer, to be honest. It's weird. Does anybody want to do